Hey everyone, Ryan here with Progressive Suspension, and today we're going to talk about one of the most important parts of suspension setup, and that's setting your sag. If you ever feel uncomfortable in any of the processes we're about to show you in this video, please take your bike to your local dealer or reputable shop and have them perform the work for you. So the first question we ask our customers when setting up rear shocks is, did you set your sag? And more often than not, the answer is no. So today, we're going to walk you through the process of how to set these up and maximize the efficiency of your shock's performance. Before we dive in and get our hands dirty, we're going to be talking about some of the different shocks we could be setting up here at Progressive Suspension. The first being a dual shock setup, which pertains to a majority of our product lineup. The second being a monoshock setup, which we will be addressing in a later video. Now, both of these shocks have unique design and performance characteristics that make them ideal for different scenarios, which is why both designs still exist today. Here at Progressive Suspension, we produce many different model families in the dual shock segment. Now, within each of these model families are different spring rates to choose from depending on combined rider weight. Now, setting up these shocks is relatively the same across the board. Today, we're going to be looking at a set of our 944 series set up on a Harley-Davidson touring model. The first thing we are going to do is identify what shock we have. The easiest way to do this is to write down the part number located on the shock body itself and then navigate to the Progressive Suspension website. Up in the top right corner of the desktop version, or in the middle top of the mobile site version, is a red box labeled Search Your Ride. It's at this point you will fill in your motorcycle to get the products available to you. We will be working on a 2021 Road Glide Special with our 944 Ultra Touring shocks installed. So I'm going to go through and input 2021 Harley-Davidson Touring Road Glide Special, which brings me to a page with all the products available for my bike. I'm then going to select 13-inch Ultra Touring for length and standard for rate. Once this is selected, I can verify that the part number I wrote down earlier is correct to the application I specified online. At this point, I can see down below a target ride length on the page. This is the number I'm going to use to set my sag. The first part of the process of setting sag is going to be to remove the saddlebags. So we're going to open this latch, exposing the mounting hardware, which is going to differ from motorcycle to motorcycle depending on your year. So we're taking these loose, and once we have those loose, we're going to tilt the bag back, inspecting for any wires for electrical or different accessories there might be. Now, this particular model doesn't have any of those wires to disconnect, so we're going to close the saddlebag and safely pull it away. Now, I'm sure by this point, most of you are wondering, what is target ride length? Well, target ride length is the measurement from the center of the top shock bolt to the center of the bottom shock bolt. Now, it's important when you're taking this measurement that you have rider weight on the bike. Think about it. There's not going to be a real world condition where the shock's living on the sweet spot and you're not on the bike, unless you've made a terrible mistake. So let's grab a tape measure, let's get someone on the bike, and we'll start setting sag. So at this point, to recap, we've installed the shocks via our included instructions. We've identified what our target ride length needs to be, and we've also adjusted these shocks side to side to make sure that they're the same. So now at this point, we're going to have someone sit on the bike, and now he's going to bounce on the bike a couple of times to settle the shock. All right, now that the shock's settled, we can take our first measurement. All right, so right now we are sitting at 11.5. So our target ride length is 11.25. So it's at this point, we're going to have to make some adjustments. Now keep in mind, if that number is greater than our target ride length, we're going to need to back off some preload by turning the adjuster counterclockwise, and vice versa. If the number is too low, we're going to need to add some preload by turning that adjuster clockwise. With 944 and 444 series shocks, there are machine lines in the actual damper body that make it easy to keep track of where you are in terms of preload adjustment. A good frame of reference is for every machine line you expose compensates for about 25 pounds of rider weight. We have 3 lines exposed right now, so we're going to make sure there's no rider weight on the bike and turn the adjuster counterclockwise until we've exposed just at the bottom of the first line. Now we're going to do that same process on the other side, and then we'll recheck our measurements. Now that we've made our adjustments, we can go ahead and recheck our target ride length. In order to do that, we'll ask the rider to bounce a couple times to resettle the shock. Now that the shock's resettled, we'll take our measurement. All right. At this point, we're sitting at exactly 11¼ inches, which is our desired target ride length. Now, this is just a starting point. Everyone feels road conditions differently, and we'll need to make adjustments accordingly. You'll also need to make adjustments, say there's a significant change in weight if you add or remove a passenger, or you add a bunch of luggage. So setting sag is not a set it and forget it thing. You'll need to make adjustments based on scenario. If you have any other questions, visit progressivesuspension.com or contact our tech line for assistance. I'm Ryan with Progressive. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.